Hey, welcome to Sam Charles YouTube. This is a guide how to set up a landing page to sell your domain names. I've been asked this question many times before on Clubhouse, on email, and just in general. How do you set up your own landing page, just like Dan or Afternic or any of the other companies out there like Sav? And you can deal with the lead yourself. So first thing would be to go to a company called themeforest.net. Go to ThemeForest and then search Domain Broker 2 landing page to sell domains. So you're on this page. Let's have a look how much it is to buy. It's not actually showing. So you paste that in there on the search. $24 to buy. As you can see, it's got loads of positive reviews. 24 bucks, that's nothing. You want to download this, right? And once you've downloaded it, you need to get some web hosting. So you need to get some web hosting with access to a cPanel. Now, once you've done this, you've got your web hosting. You want to connect one domain name that can basically deal with all the other domains, and I'll explain this in a minute. So download this, get your cPanel, and then next we'll go to the cPanel section. So if we go, so now we'll jump into the cPanel section. So we're on the cPanel. So when you've got the domain linked, it could be, just for example, xyz.com, change the NS service and then go to cPanel. So then you've got full access to the cPanel. You'd go on the cPanel to File Manager. You click on File Manager. Now what you'd do is you'd add the domain name. So say for example, actually, say that. Let's go back. So you add the domain name, and I'll show you how to do that. So you go add domain name, put in da-di-da-da-da, whatever it is, .com, whatever you are, get it added, and then it'll be added here. Right. So then you'd go to File Manager. So ignore all these other folders with domain names for now. Go to the main site, right? So this is where, if you just had one, this is the files that you get for the Domain Broker 2. So you'd get the assets, the auth, this DevTools includes, ignore that, config, error, index. What you do is go to the configure, you'd edit. So you have the files here. Now this isn't complicated, it's just very straightforward. So in the main bit, there's loads of sections that you can change. So enable domain portfolio, false. Enable select field, false. You can do it to true. Enable false field, false. But in the guide, when you download it, you'll have loads of information how to set it up, but I'm just showing you the basic guide. So in the footer, as you see on the lander, I'll show you in a minute. Email address to me, it's samcharles.com. Phone number, I haven't put one. You can put a Twitter handle, haven't put one. You obviously put the copyright. You can put whatever you want. Then your privacy policy, which you can add with your HTML. If you haven't got one, obviously you don't need to use one. You set up obviously your email address. You can have your own customized email address, but you don't have to have that. Then obviously scroll down here. Now this is where you'd add your domain. So say for example, you've got your main site set up and it's set, .co.uk. That would be the lease price, and then you could obviously put in the price that you want. You can change the fields, everything round. You can put image, you can change if it's for sale or not. And what you'd have to do on each domain is you'd copy that, and then obviously down here you'd paste it. So, and then change the name. So with all the domains that you've got on your server, you could keep adding more and more, but you have to paste them in here, right? You have to paste them in here. So say for instance, if you have got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 names, it's gonna you'd really only want about 500 domains on one cPanel, depending on how big your cPanel is or what web hosting you use. But this is good for, you know, maybe 500 domains to list on a Lander on your own hosting. I just wouldn't put any more, because if you had issues, it might go wrong. But so yeah, you paste them all in here. Close that off. Then you go back to let's have a look. Back to the main cPanel. Then this is where fun begins. So you wanted to add, say for example, you wanted to add another domain to the Lander. So, and we'll just show you example one. So blooming.co.uk, you'd make sure that the folder that it's in, mine's just in the public HTML, so that's just in the main folder. You make sure on each, when you're adding a domain, for example, you know, subdomain, I can't do that, I won't be able to do that, but say for example here, in here, you've got to make sure you paste public HTML. You could put it in a separate folder, so say for instance it's in a folder called, I don't know, Lander, but that's obviously where the folder it's routing to. So look, if you go to File Manager, if you go to File Manager, these are all in the public HTML, all these. So, and what they're doing is they're all linking back to that main Lander. So say for example, I'll show you now, not that one, because that one's not landing. So say for example, this one, api.co.uk, as you can see it, you know, that is the Lander that you'll get with the buy, lease, offer, email. And then obviously you've got the email down the bottom as well. So yeah, it's quite good. But what else you can do is you can play with it. But this gets a bit more complicated. You know, you'd so we go back to the public HTML. And this is in the config file. You've got the includes, and then you've got the view, domain view. So yeah, you can start modifying certain things on it, but I wouldn't just edit things if you don't know what you're doing. There's certain ones we can change bits of the script. But yeah, obviously I've slightly modified mine, but I've only just changed the US dollar to UK pounds. But as I say, this domain broker Lander is amazing. And for the cost of it, it's great. And like you say, you can got the cPanel, literally go into File Manager and you'd upload the files. So for example, like that, you'd select the files, whatever they are, and you know, it would just be a case of oh, give me a second, what's going on here? Yeah, it would be a case cancel it. Yeah, so it'd be a case of just selecting the files, do them all individually, upload them, and ignore all these. So you'd go into public HTML and do this. So you'd upload it all in there. That's if you want it in public HTML. You could just theoretically create your own folder. So you could put Lander, yeah? And then obviously if it is in that folder, then you'd have to go back here, add domains. You'd have to change that to the correct folder, so then it links there. But yeah, there's other bits that you can do. The Google authority, so obviously it checks for spams and bots and stuff like that. I haven't. I took mine away because it was causing problems. But you can add it. You'd have to find the authorization codes and the keys and add them, and that'd be in the script as well. But yeah, it's you know, it's fairly straightforward landing page, and like you say, you can add multiple domains. You can even, if you have a look at the, let's see if it shows it. Yeah, so here you can even add domains at the top. You know, that other domains that are for sale. Now, some people have that. You know, I purely just done a simple landing page. And you can set prices that, you know, so you can reject prices. You can set that up as well. But yeah, it's a good landing page, and I have used it. But I do use everything. You know, it's best to try everything. It's best to try all the platforms, try everything, and see what happens. You know, if you want to have your own payment facilities and everything else, you could try and add that, but obviously you'd have to modify it. But for a basic lander that you can literally just take emails, it looks professional. It's definitely worth having, and I recommend it. But yeah, this is just a short guide. If you need any assistance, help setting it up, I'm more than welcome to help, but obviously I'd charge for my time. But yeah, that's just the guide, and have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.